Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host Erin James, the channel that brings you all your latest Rangers news, and we don't charge you for it, guys, so please obviously smash that sub. We're going to talk a little bit of Takeover news this afternoon. Some news in from Dave King's interview with Talk Sport. Obviously Dave King, the majority shareholder in Rangers FC, has been talking about the club's future. Now we've all kind of heard rumour and counter rumours to when this takeover will be done. We've all seen the tour of Ibrox that was given to Parag Marathe and obviously Andrew Kavanagh as well. The guys who are reported to be buying 51% share in the club. They've also obviously as well talked about it as well. Marathe, Leeds United, and Leeds United fan organisations, fan media, and also papers in Yorkshire reporting about Parag Marathe being busy with takeover talks for Rangers. We've also had Parag Marathe talking about the takeover. We've had Jed York mentioning the takeover. Obviously, Jed York, for those of you who don't know, is the owner of the San Francisco 49ers. We've had lots of conversations around this takeover and when it happens and when it will not happen. Obviously, the Daily Rebel have done their best to try and obviously destroy it, as have that lot across the city, who are constantly telling us that the takeover is a fake over and it is not happening and it will not happen and it will collapse and it is not even happening at all and all this. I'm sure Professor Timio Mona from the Institute of Celtic Studies at Parkhead University will be the first to tell us the truth on what is happening with this. And you know what, let's face it, if you ever want to know what's going on at Rangers Football Club, ask a Tim. They seem to know everything, don't they? Their obsession is quite frightening. It almost borders on mental illness and obsession. And you know what, if you were to kind of liken them to an ex-girlfriend or an ex-boyfriend, you actually get a restraining order against them because their obsession is just so much. They'd probably be sat in the tree opposite to your house, staring through your bedroom and bathroom window with their binoculars if they could. That is how obsessed they are with Rangers. Absolute voyeurs. Anyway, look, Dave King has been discussing the takeover, and this is what he's had to say. He reported that the takeover is, in his words, 90% done, and it should be done by mid-June now. That is the date that has been given by majority shareholder Dave King for the completion of this takeover. Now, I know that one or two of you may have the odd concern over that, obviously given the fact that the Champions League qualifiers come up so soon towards the end of July, and obviously we need time to obviously appoint a new manager, obviously buy new players, sell off the Deadwoods, the Taverniers, the Dessers, the Proppers, etc., of the Bairamis of this world, and obviously bring in new playing talent. There has to be a major squad overhaul. Now, for that to take place, obviously we do need money from the San Francisco 49ers and Andrew Kavanagh for that to happen. Now, look, as has been reported by the Daily Rebel, there's all this rubbish about Rangers suffer FFP shock, hammer blow to their fortune. Well, absolute bollocks. I mean, yet again from the Daily Rebel. Look, I don't think that you can find one single, well, perhaps the odd one, but the majority of very sensible Rangers fans know that we're not going to be spending 50, 60, 70, 80 million pounds or attempting to spend between 50 and 100 million pounds this summer on players. That is just not going to happen. Why is it not going to happen? Because it is not a cost-effective or a sensible measure for our football club, because we do not bring in anywhere near that revenue at this point. We do not raise anywhere near that amount of money, and at this moment in time, that would be financial suicide. And look, all those Celtic fans that are saying that the Rangers fans, they're so deluded. They're now going to buy this player, that player. Rangers plans talking about, no, the only people who've been talking about that are Celtic fans who are, like I said, dangerously obsessed. So look, at the end of the day, we're in a position where this takeover is very much on the way to being done. Now, I do have some slight concerns that it will be not done until mid-June. However, I do believe that the incoming board and the incoming owners will still take measures to put in place the new manager and obviously other appointments, as they've already done so with Kevin Thelwell, before they actually finalise their takeover. This takeover is pretty much done and dusted, despite what Professor Timio Mona might tell you from the Institute for Celtic Studies of Rangers Obsession. It will be done, it will be dusted, it will be finished and signed off. And at that point, obviously, then you can have the major changes, the revenue stream, revenue improvements, the sponsorship improvements, etc., etc. That is where we need to go. And I think, look, this is encouraging news. It's good news that it's 90% done, that it's virtually there now, that we are obviously looking at a sort of mid-June. It's now the 7th, obviously, of May. June is the next month. So we're looking, probably another month's time, and this takeover should be finalised. Obviously, the season will then be over. Now, look, I don't think there was any real possibility that a new manager would be named, or players would be told they're leaving before the end of the season. That is not the way most clubs operate. First of all, they would not be appointing a manager or nominating a manager before the season ends, because they would not want to undermine the work that Barry Ferguson is currently doing. Because if it was to say, come out, look, here you go, Marco Rosa will be the new manager at the start of next season, or Gerhard Struber, or whoever, Sean Dyche, God help us, will be the new manager, then look, I think you would have a situation where you would undermine Barry, you would undermine even more so than perhaps he has been so far. The players would perhaps down tools even more so than they have so far. And it would be obviously a spiraling situation. But that's never going to happen. That will happen at the end of the season. They will make a managerial appointment. Who that's going to be, like I said, none of us really are sure on that. And I mean, what we do seem to know is it will not be someone with any links to Rangers. So it will not be Gerrard. It will not be Ferguson. It's likely to be someone like a Gerhard Struber or Marco Rosa, for example. Just off the top of it, so Sean Dyche, please no. Someone like that who has no connections to the club. But like I said, the positive news is that Takeover is virtually there, and it's exciting times. It's good times. We're finally getting a group of people who actually know how to run a sports organisation and B, a business. Parag Marath of the 49ers Enterprises. The 49ers Enterprises are, backed by one of the most successful NFL franchises in the San Francisco 49ers, a win now franchise, a franchise that wants to win all the time. Witnessed their comments by their general manager last year when they had a bad season, finished, I think it was 6-11 or something like that. And he said that will never happen again. It was embarrassing. So, you've got that sort of win now, win positive mentality coming into the club. And into that, of course, the fact that Andrew Kavanagh is a very successful businessman as well. Advised, obviously, by the likes of Kevin Thelwell, Greta Steinson, obviously, who are football guys, who get the game, who understand the business of football, and will be advising Parag Marath and, obviously, Andrew Kavanagh as to the best steps to take to make Rangers a successful football club again. Good news, positive news, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation, guys. If you enjoyed the content even, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And remember always, we are the people.